Hello guys, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Here we're gonna perform a chemical peel, and it is a pleasure for me to tell you about it and for you to see how I perform a chemical peel on my client. First thing you need to know is that we've been preparing her skin for the past 2 or 3 months, and she's been on retinol for the past 3 weeks. It is very important to prepare the skin before performing a chemical peel. Why is that? Your chemical peel will be more effective, it will be absorbed better, and you will see better results. I cleanse my client's face twice because when performing a chemical peel, you really need to remove the extra oil because the oil can be a resistance to the performance of the chemical peel. So here we're doing an exfoliation. Since I know very well the type of skin of my client and what it can handle, so I'm doing an enzyme exfoliation. Normally, I would add up a little bit of healing gel to kind of decrease the strength of the exfoliant. But as I said before, I know my client's skin very well. Her skin is strong enough, and I want to break down every single leftovers of dead cells, clogged pores, so we can have a great chemical peel, and so the results can be very amazing. So I'm massaging the skin very well so I can evenly spread the exfoliant on the entire surface of the skin so I don't miss any part, since I'm going to perform the chemical peel on the entire surface of the skin. So I'm about to leave this for 5 minutes with the steam on, because I'm going to perform some extractions too before starting with the chemical peel process. As a recap of the steps for our chemical peel on my client's oily skin, I first performed double cleansing plus an exfoliation, and third one, we about to do extractions. Always make sure that the steam covers the entire surface of the skin, because it will create a moisturizing effect on top of the mask, because you don't want the exfoliant to dry on top of the skin. It will give it a drying effect, which can cause damage to the skin. So now we're done with the steam. It is time for me to perform extraction on my clients before we move ahead to the chemical peel. Since the skin has been so beautifully prepared for weeks, I don't need to perform a very deep extractions because the skin is very clean already, being on retinol, and the cells turnover has been done beautifully, and the skin is very prepared for the chemical peel. So it's very minimal extractions to make sure that everything is out so I can perform the chemical peel, so we have better and quicker results, as I said before, because this is what we are after. We are after a beautiful and clear skin at the end of the chemical peel. Why extract the nose first? This area has the tendency to harden very quick comparing to the other areas. So that's why right after softening the follicles with exfoliation, steaming, it's better to start extraction on the nose for a smoother and quicker process. Since chemical peel is a very strong treatment to perform on the skin, being gentle during the entire process is very important to avoid any burn or irritation while performing this treatment. Now that I'm done with extractions, it's time for me to start with the chemical peel. Take a look at how I protect my client eyes. Although I'm about to remove it because I'm confident enough to work around the area without injuring her, but if you're not comfortable, please follow this example. Now it's time for me to apply the pre-peel solution, because I want the peel to decrease in its intensity. a medium peel instead of very strong peel. So I'm applying it in all the areas because as I said before, I want the peel to be a medium level peel. As my pre-chemical peel solution has air dried, now it's time for me to start applying the chemical peel. So I'm using Q-tips. Why? Because first of all, I don't want to waste my solution because most of the time the ball of cottons, they tend to absorb a very good amount of your chemical peel. So with the Q-tips, I'm confident enough that my chemical peel solution will not be wasted, and also it's very precise for me to apply on the areas that I want to apply it to. So now this is the first coat of our chemical peel, and I'm gonna finish applying the first coat evenly without going back to the areas that already are covered with my solution. Why avoid double passes? Because when the time for your client's skin to peel, you need the process to be done evenly. So that's why we're gonna apply as many coats as we need until the skin blanches instead of doing double passes on a coat. So when the skin blanches, it means that it's saturated. No more chemical peel needs to be applied on these areas. Now that I'm done with my first coat, I'm about to use my hand as a fan because chemical peels are hot. So unfortunately, my little fan that I purchased on Amazon was out of charge. So we're using what we have right now. I'm waiting for my first coat to dry before I start applying the second coat. So it's time for the second coat, and we're gonna go with the same pattern. I started with the forehead and forward, so we're gonna follow the same steps that we followed for the first coat. So as you can see, no dripping is happening with my Q-tips. So it's very important to know exactly how much product you need to get from the container for your chemical peel not to drip, to avoid any accident. And as I said, I started with the forehead and moving from the left to the right. So this is exactly what I'm doing on the second coat. It is also very important to communicate with your client while performing a chemical peel because you need to know how they feel about it, so you know how to react. For example, if you need to stop or if you need to apply any healing gel for any burning not to occur. But remember, a chemical peel is supposed to be hot, but if the skin is well prepared and strong enough to receive the chemical peel, everything should be fine. And that's why it's important to know your client's skin, to know to what level of intensity you can perform a chemical peel. And also, it is very important to wait until you finish applying the coat entirely before starting to fan your skin's client, because you don't want the air, let's say you have a fan, you don't want to be blowing air while you're applying the chemical peel on the skin, because it will dry your chemical peel before you even apply it. For this entire process, I've applied up to 7 coats on my client's skin, and I'm gonna be fast forwarding the video until we are at the end of the process, so you know exactly how to finish with your chemical peel procedure. In the meantime, I charge my little fan that I purchased on Amazon, a lifesaver. So here it is, helping my client to breathe a little, because as I said before, chemical peels are really hot. Very important information for you guys. Although I've applied in general 7 coats on top of my client's skin, but some areas needed more treatment than others. So meaning that, for example, the cheeks that had more hyperpigmentation and they're stronger, and this is most of the time where we experience large pores. So these areas, of course, after applying 7 coats on top of the skin, I went ahead and applied 1 or 2 more coats because they need deeper treatment before being even to the entire skin, because they of course have more oil, more hyperpigmentation, more acne scarring. So very important for you to know. Now that I'm done with applying the coats, it's time to remove the excess of chemical peel on top of the skin with just my sponges and water. So doing it until I covered the entire surface of the skin, making sure everything is gone. And of course, checking in with my client to know exactly where she feels any tingling, to making sure the entire skin is calm after the process. I always make sure I apply some eye gel after my client's treatment, making sure that this area is well nourished and calm as well, especially after a chemical peel. Now it's time to finish the process. I'm applying some healing gel with aloe vera gel in it, and very soothing for the skin, because remember we just had a chemical peel which is very hot. So I need to make sure that my skin's client is very soothed before leaving my treatment room. And as you can see, I'm not doing any pressure on top of that skin. I'm applying the product very gently. Always remember to recommend a specific aftercare to your client after a chemical peel. For me, I always recommend a gentle cleanser, a neutral one that's non-acidic, nothing like vitamin C or AHA, just an hydrating one, and also a good SPF 50 to help protect their skin and moisture their skin up to 4 days when the skin starts to peel. And then after 7 days, when they do their exfoliation at home, they can start resuming their normal skincare routine very gently with some vitamin C and SPF and some good moisturizer at home to keep that skin hydrated, because now we have the entire first layer that I shedded after the chemical peel. I always tell my clients to give it up to 13-15 days for their skin to be entirely back to normal, but glowing, faded hyperpigmentation and scarring. So thank you for following, and more videos to come around skincare treatments. Here's my client's skin after 4 days started to peel, and the next photo as well. It's a closer shot, and here is 7 days after her skin peeled. Here is the final work after 15 days. Look at this beautiful, healthy, and well-nourished skin. So please subscribe to my channel for more beautiful videos like this. Bye-bye. Ciao.